Okay, this week we got a special guest, rivalry with Nala, Hulkamania lives, and predictions. You're watching Sports Rap. Alright guys, welcome to another edition of Sports Rap with your host, Cesar Romero. Okay, well, I want to first open up this segment addressing Team Lion Mode Straight Beastin', or as I like to refer to him as, Team Nala. Okay, so Nala, you want to go on Facebook talking all this smack about how you're tied for #1, when in reality, I was recognized pound for pound #2 ranked person in the league, and you were #3. That's not my problem. That's not your problem. That's ESPN's problem that you need to take up with. Not me. Don't come at me. That being said, you are so lucky this week that you're ranked #1 just because of the whole alphabetized Team Lion L versus Team Romero R. It's the only reason why you're above me right now. And guess what? When it comes to week 7, I'm coming for that ass. This ain't a rivalry. This is a war. That being said, alright, Lito is undefeated, just as I am. And I think we both have some challenging matchups this week. He's going up against Drop a Deuce on him. And I'm going to be going up against some guy that I, probably don't. I'm going to beat. Oh, yeah. El Rey Muerte. No, all jokes aside, everyone give him his props. He won a game. The bag can be taken off your head if you want. Speaking of winning and losing games, Miles family. What's going on, man? Not one single Miles family member won this week. I mean, you guys all have a combined record of 3-9. Come on, aren't you guys supposed to be like sports junkies and stuff like that? So, I mean, come on. It's time to step your game up. I mean, I know this week coming up, you got 2 Miles family members going up against each other. So, hey, someone's going to win at least, right? So, I have 2 matchups that I'm really looking forward to this week. And they both have to do with consecutive wins and losses and stuff. So the first matchup that I'm looking forward to is Golden Boy versus Fighting Illini, because let's face it, I want to see how far Fighting Illini can go and break fantasy football records with the Bay Area's finest. I want to see 0-4, I want to see 0-5, I want to see 0-6. There should be a special trophy for that. I mean, if he gets 0-6, there should be a special trophy for that. I mean, if he gets just complete losses all across the season, I mean, I feel like he should get like his buy-in back or something like that. Speaking of matchups, I got something new this week. I'm going to do some predictions. And from this point on, we're going to keep track and see how well I'm going to be doing with all these predictions. Team Robustly Offending Men, Even Retarded Ones versus El Rey Muerte. Needless to say, my pick is going to go to Team Romero. King Safety versus Semi-Pro. That's pretty much just a pick-em because they're both 1 and 2. Both have produced pretty average to mediocre scores. Grant has also put up an Owner of the Week total. So for that, I'm going to give King Safety the pick this week. Drop a Deuce on Ya versus Team Nala, which I just mentioned. But I will say this, I am going to pick Drop a Deuce on Ya. That's my fantasy upset pick of the week. I think Drop a Deuce on Ya is going to be coming up. As I said last week, I said that I think he's going to be rising up in the standings. Guess what? He won that week. I think he's going to win again this week. Los Hulkamaniacs versus Miles Ahead, I think will be an interesting matchup. But in the end, I really do think Los Hulkamaniacs is going to pull it out and pretty much dominate the matchup. I actually think this could probably be one of those like massively oversized, Greg's just going to like dominate by points. Team Golden Boy versus Fighting Illini, and as I said before, I'm rooting for Golden Boy in this one. So I think he's going to win. I think he's going to be 3-1 and stay in that top 3 fight for the playoff races. Okay, so this week I have a special guest. It's not going to be a celebrity in the realm of Hollywood, and it's not going to be a sports athlete that you see on the field, but he is a celebrity and an athlete to the league. So I'm going to let the introductions in the interview take place. See you guys in a minute.
Right, those are the kind of plays that can ignite a team. It gets the...
Alright, I want to thank everyone here for another edition of Inside Talk with your host Cesar Romero. We're here live at the SFLS studios. Okay, so my special guest today, you've seen him as the focal point of a couple of different C40 Productions videos, but more recently, you've seen him as the co-host in the Miles Ahead productions of the Fantasy Wrap-Ups. It is none other than Greg Perry. Greg, I want to give you a special thank you for being my first Fantasy League special guest. Okay, I'm going to cut straight to the chase here. You absolutely dominated in Week 3 against your little brother when all odds makers had put you to be beat down by the, at the time, #1 ranked Golden Boy. You're projected to be given the smackdown. Can you tell us about your process?
Well, I know you're not going to like this, but I'm going to share a fantasy secret that we both know about. 2 words: fantasy defense. I'm not talking about the defense special teams. I'm talking about fantasy defense, alright? Those Hulkamaniacs, 242 points allowed. Team robustly offending men, even retarded ones, 232 points allowed. Tops in the league. Teams need to know that when they come up against me, they just not gonna score. It's that simple.
Were you ever afraid that baby bro was gonna win?
Come on now, I ain't never scared. Oh shit, is that a spider? Oh, hell no. Hell no.
Moving on. Pretty sure that was not a spider. So, it hasn't been a great week for the Miles family. They have a combined record of 3-9. Not a single member won at all this week. Can you tell me what you think's going on with the Miles family?
Well, my initial reaction was, there's just an injury bug going around. No big deal. Then I realized they have bench player of the week every week since the beginning of the season. Week 1, Cam Newton, Steve Smith. Week 2, Jeremy Maclin. Week 3, Wes Welker. You can't win if you leave 35 points on your bench.
Would you go as far as to call them miles behind?
I think that might be safe to say. But then again, there's still a lot of football left, and a mile really ain't that far.
Now, Greg, it's a known fact that a Hulkamaniac is a fan of Hulk Hogan. You are disgracing the term Hulkamaniac by putting up a picture of the Hulk. I don't know how long you thought you were going to get away with this, but I want to ask you what is actually going on in your head right now.
Let me show you something. Incredible Hulk comic book. Incredible Hulk keychain. I even got Incredible Hulk Pez dispenser. So as you can see, I'm a huge Incredible Hulk fan. So I guess you could say it was a play on words using a long forgotten term.
You hurt my friends, then you hurt my pride.
You know what, Mean Gene? Who's behind the camera and can't be seen? I'm gonna teach this boy Greg a lesson. He's coming around here claiming to be a real Hulkamaniac, and real Hulkamaniacs are right behind Caesar. So Greg, I got one question for you. What you gonna do, brother, when all the Caesar maniacs run wild on you?
Man, I sure hope you don't do that. Because if you do that, we're probably gonna tie. And nobody wants that.
Okay, it's a little bit more of a calm answer than I was expecting. So we'll just move on, because I feel kind of dumb. Another delusional team that I think is out there is Team Nala, okay? We're both undefeated right now. And I stress the right now because I think he's losing next week. But it's turning into a war of words here between the two of us. And we meet up on Week 7. Let me tell you, I cannot wait to get a little piece of Week 7 and tear Team Nala apart. But I want to know from the rest of the league, including you, Greg, what do you think is going to go down Week 7, Team Robustly Offending Men, even retarded ones, versus Team Nala?
I think it's funny that after everything that happened, now you guys are tied in every statistical category, and he's actually ahead just because of alphabetical order. What a trip. Anyways, in that Week 7 matchup, I'm going to have to go ahead and say Lion Mo Straight Beastin is going to come out on top, despite the fact that all his players are on the bye week because of the fact that you are a Raider drafter. So there.
Okay, you know what? 2 weeks ago, I would have said that I'm not a Raider drafter, that ESPN drafted Darren McFadden for me, but you know what? He's like the best running back in the league so far, so I'm not going to make any complaints. You want to call me a Raider drafter? Fine, go ahead. But my next question. So Greg, who in the league has impressed you so far?
Alright, I'm going to take the high road here and not choose me. I'm actually going to choose you, team robustly offending men, even retarded ones. You're in a quarterback-driven league with really no quarterbacks, and yet you're still at the top statistically for points for and in the record-wise. So congrats, man.
Oh man, thanks. Feeling kind of stupid now about the whole Hulk Hogan stuff, but I'm still coming after you Week 6, so be ready. So my next question is, who do you think is in the bottom of the standings now is going to make a rise to the top and one final push for that playoff spot at the end of the season?
I like King's safety to be there in the mix for playoff contention at the end of the year. Anytime you have a player that unexpectedly puts up elite fantasy numbers, you're going to have a chance to take it all. Case in point, last year, championship game, Arian Foster, Michael Vick.
Alright Greg, normally I would ask you what you do for fun, but because of last week's answer from Floyd Mayweather, I'm going to nix that from the question for him. So I'm going to cut to the last question, which is, I'm going up against El Reja Muerte this week. He beat Grant last week for his first victory, but then again, 80% of the league beat Grant last week. So what do you think are my chances, or who do you think is going to win this week?
You, team robustly offending men, even retarded ones.
Thanks, man. I think I got a good shot, too. All right, Greg, this is your shot. Anything you want to say to Miles Ahead, who you're going to play next week, or anyone to the league for that matter? Any smack talk for people you think you're going to be going up against the next couple of weeks, or just keep it to Miles Ahead?
Go to the league. I just want y'all to know that Los Pokemaniacs, we on our Stevie Johnson. And if you don't know what that means, you better look it up. Oh yeah, and prepare to be smashed.
All right, once again, I want to thank Greg for being my special guest host, and let's take it back to Caesar over at the other side of SFLS Studios. That about wraps it up for this week. I want to thank Greg for being my special guest, and once again, if you want to be a special guest, that's C_Romero22@yahoo.com. Tune in next week for a very special show. This format's the same, but I'm going to be making a special announcement about the following weeks and how the format's going to change up a little bit. And I will be interviewing none other than the legendary, the living legend, Roy Jones Jr. about my special format change. Okay, I want to thank you guys. Take care. Have a good week.